Popular culture in the 90s saw a rise in technology in daily lives. It became widespread and cool to have all different sorts of technologies. Pagers, mobile phones, and computers with AOL and access to the World Wide Web became popular, and tech even made its way into children's toys with Tamagotchis and Game Boys. Cable TV was also introduced. Along with this came the Y2K scare, the fear that at the end of the 90s when 2000 came, all computers would cease to function. New technology would change how America sees entertainment. The teen audience also became widely targeted in entertainment. TV greatly affected how teens thought, acted, and especially their fashion, like overalls, neon clothes, parachute pants, popularized by Saved by the Bell, sideburns by 90210, the Rachel haircut by the show Friends, and the flat top haircut by the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Fashion was also popularized by major music styles like grunge, known for flannels, jeans, and long hair, and hip-hop, which were known for brand clothes, tracksuits, baggy pants, and baseball caps. Business casual also became more acceptable in workplaces in the 90s. The major music styles at the time were grunge, hip-hop, pop, and techno. Grunge led to the apathetic view of teens. Techno was popular in the drug-heavy rave subculture. Hip-hop helped connect the black and white communities. Pop was upbeat and saw the rise of many popular celebrity musicians like Britney Spears, who would captivate the country's attention. Entertainment in America was also changed after the OJ trials. Broadcasted on television, everyone saw them, and they led to the start of 24-hour news, reality TV, and the celebrity gossip craze that we are all too familiar with in the modern day. The 90s were a time of change and transition to the 21st century, where tech and teens were on the rise, and the Soviet Union had just fallen, lifting the fear of communism from the US.
New technology gadgets in the 80s consisted of cable television, the VCR, and the personal computer. Cable TV quickly became the new standard for American homes. Sports fans were able to watch ESPN 24 hours a day, children watched Nickelodeon, and Americans could catch up on any news at any time by watching CNN. The VCR allowed for Americans to now record television shows and watch movie tapes all in the comfort of their homes. In 1985, Blockbuster became immensely popular with VCR owners, allowing them to rent movies for a fixed price. Movies in the 80s are now greatly appreciated due to their movie effects with the disadvantage of less technology and their inspiring messages. Popular movies included The Breakfast Club, Indiana Jones, and Back to the Future. Famous TV shows included The Cosby Show, The Jeffersons, and Oprah. The personal computer was first introduced by Apple in 1977, which made it possible for businesses to manage personal finance, quick word processing, and desktop publishing. Managing payroll, mailing lists, and inventories were easier, all because of the small machine. Music was a huge part of the 80s. It let the people release their inner rock and roll and free themselves. The music created was the soundtrack of the 80s. MTV, our music television, created a whole new revolution for the recording industry. Famous artists known in the 80s included Prince, Michael Jackson, Madonna, the Rolling Stones, and many more.
Social movements and trends that occurred during the 80s included the promotion of feminism, debates on trade unionism, and anti-racism. Many activists of different groups held protests and spoke out against others. In addition, this decade came with new slang, like as if, wicked, gnarly, and groovy. Replacing hippies of the 70s, yuppies were the new counterculture. Yuppies stood for youth urban professionals who were mostly middle-class Americans that wanted to flaunt their newly acquired wealth with a growing economy. Yuppies spent their money on upscale consumer products like Ray-Ban sunglasses, Polo apparel, and Mercedes and BMWs. In the 1980s, First Lady Nancy Reagan raised awareness for the national message to say no to drugs. 80s drugs were first considered recreational, but then reevaluated as addictive and deadly substances. Celebrities brought attention to the subject because many were put into rehab. In addition, many reports were made in drug-ridden inner-city areas, terrifying local citizens. The sexual revolution was highly influenced by AIDS, acquired immune deficiency syndrome. AIDS is a deadly disease that was commonly spread by sexual contact and the sharing of needles. As a result, safe sex was practiced and taught regularly.
Fashion in the 80s included neon colors and boxy clothing. Velvet fabrics and tracksuits were the new trends, and everyone wore them. The typical waistline was higher in pants than it is today. Overall, women's clothing drastically changed in the 80s compared to men. Bright makeup and teased hair were the way to go, and dresses and skirts could be any length. Men's clothing was similar to what it was, but they developed the acceptance for the ability to wear sport coats and slacks to events that previously required a suit.
The 2000s was known as the digital age. The internet and Wi-Fi had improved greatly from the 1990s. Technologies of connection quickly improved, including social media. Social media websites such as Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and MySpace rose to popularity. From 2000 to 2010, Facebook gained 160 million users. In 2000, 97 million mobile phone subscribers grew to 293 users in 2010. Taking pictures of oneself became a new popular trend this decade, known as a self-shot. Before self-shots, people often took pictures of themselves in mirrors. In this decade, one would extend their hand with a digital camera or cell phone to take a picture of oneself. As a result, body modification became a trend. Whitening, tanning, augmentation, reduction, straightening, tattooing, and etc. Informality became a sign of privilege, as low-status workers typically only wore uniforms. Americans became conscious of how and what clothing was made of. Natural fabrics, such as cotton hemp, became popular. Fashion was also influenced by hip-hop music. In the early 2000s, men typically wore sporty clothing such as Nike, Adidas shorts, loafers, and camp shirts. Women wore denim miniskirts, ponchos, and tracksuits. In the mid-2000s, clothing was influenced by retro culture. Rappers influenced the style. Men began to wear cartoon print hoodies, vintage t-shirts, and slim-fit jeans. Women fashion in the mid-2000s was influenced by American culture. Skin-fit jeans with knee-high boots, printed leggings, capri pants and tunics, long baggy shirts, and skinny jeans were popular trends among women. Celebrities such as Paris Hilton and the Ashley Olsen twin also influenced fashion. They adopted oversized sunglasses and aviators. Men's hairstyle was influenced by Tom Cruise, and spiky hair, flat tops, and buzz cuts were also popular. Some other popular trends were rubber, Livestrong bracelets, Von Dutch hats, velvet jackets, Uggs, and hair accessories.